Venezuela is a beautiful country located in South America. Venezuela has a wealth of natural resources, particularly in the energy sector. Venezuela's natural strength is oil and gas production. Any country world regards a proven oil supply of 78 billion barrels to a huge asset. Fortunately, oil is a modern world's engine. Venezuela has a high literacy rate. Venezuela's adult literacy rate was 97.1% in 2016. Venezuela's adult literacy rate increased from 89.8% in 1990 to 97.1% in 2016. 97.1 is extremely good for a country. It's a very high number, and it's counted as strength for Venezuela. Venezuela has weaknesses as well. Weaknesses are on default on its sovereign and quasi-sovereign debt, payment delays in everyday business, economy heavily depend on hydrocarbons, loans from China, Russia, and Iranian aid, non-transparent and discretionary management of oil revenues, hyperinflation, shortage of foreign currency of goods, serious political insecurities, crime, corruption, traffic of all kinds, black market under USA sanctions, oil trade blockade, and financial sanctions. So Venezuela has a high literacy rate, but there are lots of brain lost because people are leaving the country because of low salaries. Because of low salaries, people are leaving the country, and this is a huge weakness for the country. HDI in Venezuela is 0.711, which is lower than the average HDI. Average HDI is 1.4, but the HDI in Venezuela is 0.71, which is very low. So Human Development Index is lower than the average HDI. This is weakness for Venezuela. Average GDP for capita in the world is $1,655. This means that Venezuela has GDP per capita more than the average GDP per capita. This is a weakness for Venezuela. And infant mortality rate is 25 deaths per 1,000 live births, while the average is 5.6 deaths per 1,000 live births. This is approximately 5 times bigger than the average infant mortality rate. That's why it's counted as a weakness for the country. Now I want to talk about opportunities in Venezuela. I think that in order to achieve SDGs, Venezuela can take money from selling oil and put that money to be more sustainable and to be more developed. By doing this, Venezuela can achieve those SDGs more quickly, and this method will improve and develop the country itself. There are more threats for Venezuela as well. Threats are that Venezuela will not reach SDGs, and these threats are inflation, devaluation, wars, conflicts, and etc. These are threats of Venezuela not reaching SDGs. So SDGs that we chose are poverty, poverty, and zero hunger. Now I want to explain them. I choose no poverty and zero hunger. No poverty SDG is about people having enough money to buy basic human needs. So no poverty is when people are able to buy their basic needs. And zero hunger is an initiative to end hunger and make sure that enough nutritious foods are available to people by 2030. Other aspects of goal include ending all forms of malnutrition and promoting sustainable agriculture. I think Venezuela should improve agriculture because there is poverty. Because there is a poverty, and there are no enough food. So to overcome poverty, we should have a lot of food to give people and feed them. For this reason, we should improve agriculture. Money that comes from selling oil, selling gas, could be used to grow crops and develop agriculture. Venezuela can spend money on growing the crops and developing agriculture. Venezuela can spend less money on military and more money on improving agriculture, developing country, and making it more sustainable. Venezuela can save money from selling oil and then can buy crops and plant them. After 2-3 years, there will be plenty of food to feed people, and I think this will overcome poverty. Then, after developing agriculture, Venezuela can sell those fruits and vegetables to foreign countries To overcome poverty, the government should spend money on agriculture. Then the government should increase the employment rate by building new factories, different jobs, buildings, companies, improving companies and relations with foreign companies, and etc. Then the government should sell different materials, resources to other countries in order to get more money. After getting money, Venezuela can improve on infrastructure and build new houses and buildings. Government can settle people who have no houses into these buildings and then give each person a job. Government should provide every person with work, and that person would be paid and would have better life standards. So these are ways how Venezuela can achieve those SDGs. There are strengths and challenges of my solutions as well. In my opinion, if Venezuela will do what I suggested, then it can help them to end poverty in a country, and it will help them to overcome hunger as well. In my opinion, the solutions which I gave could be extremely useful for Venezuela, and I think that using my solutions, Venezuela can end hunger and poverty. I think using my solutions, Venezuela would improve its economy, agriculture, grow fruits and vegetables, have a high employment rate, more factories, more works, and etc. Challenges of my solution are that if it will be a little bit hard to do all of the solutions, and it will take years to make these solutions happen. So in conclusion, I want to say that in this article I talked about Venezuela, its SWOT analysis, its SWOT two SDGs which Venezuela can achieve, wrote my own solution and evaluated them. I hope that Venezuela will have no poverty and zero hunger until 2030.